looks like the clouds are in today. Hopefully it doesn't start raining. And what's going on today? It's kind of interesting reading this one, where in a lot of places they would ban, quote, a drone, even if they're just using it to film something because they think it's so dangerous and all that. So this story dealt with people using drones to film what looked like a bike race. But after they did it, they're saying, oh, get rid of it, I guess, for what, safety reasons or something like that. But as you can see, because of public reaction and all that, they actually allowed it afterwards, it seems. This one says, UCI reverses course on drone footage at races. The UCI isn't banning drone footage after all, it turns out. Peter Van Del Abiel, CEO of Union Cycliste Internationale, announced the upcoming reversal on Wednesday. The drones will be free to fly on March 1st. This quick bit of regulatory aerobatics comes just days after a live feed drone camera was hauled down mid-race by officials in Gavir during a super prestige cyclocross race. That drone's brief flight was widely praised for offering a new perspective on racing, including by Lucinda Brand, the athlete it was following. Van den Abiel clarified UCI's stance on flying cameras to Sporza on Wednesday. He also shed light on why officials in Gavir were quick to ground the drone's first in-race flight. And I guess they said initially, drones can be used for live recording if prior authorization is requested. Van den Abiel clarified, apparently that written request did not happen in Gavir. The chairman of the jury simply applied the regulations. The UCI CEO added that drone during live feed races was the topic of debate, a recent meeting of cycling's governing body. That is where the decision to take advantage of the drone footage was made and where the March 1st start date comes from. So because of that, I guess they reversed course. So you can see basically in the social media, I guess, the person in the bicycle, you can see here commenting amazing footage and so forth. And unfortunately, this was the only flight. And the person continued, it seems, basically saying here, the crew contacted me before the race and I know they are all about safety. The drone is small and it looks like the propellers are protected to not hurt someone. Hope to see these shots again in the next races. So what do you think? Ban or fan? And based on the polling, 96.4% of the people there said more of this please. And this is kind of interesting. It says 3.6% of the people said nope, dangerous. Now I would imagine this is just like a simple FPV drone or something, but it makes you think how most people probably assume when you say drone it's something humongous and all that, and that's just based on, I guess, media perception. But overall, when you read the messages, like this guy saying here, this is how to make the sport attractive. Great riders, great footage, very good for public, exposure for sponsors, and making the sport safer by analyzing the track. And it just goes on and on. But that kind of shows you if enough people actually say something about the issue, then they'll actually change it, correct? Versus just accepting it like, oh, I guess that's how it is, so to speak. And with that in mind, in terms of people saying something to promote, I guess, change and all that, the protests and stuff are still happening here in Canada with the Freedom Convoy. But it seems because of that too, even though there's things like those Emergency Measures Act and so forth, people are sticking with it, and it seems like a bunch of provinces are dropping things like their mandates. For example, like this one here says, NL to eliminate COVID-19 restrictions, move out of pandemic phase by March 14th. Ontario to end COVID proof of vaccination March 1st, mask mandate to remain in place. And it says Quebec to end COVID-19 vaccine passport system on March 14th. So a lot of people kind of are dropping things, but in a different way, which is a little weird when you think about it in terms of the science. But it was kind of interesting hearing, I guess, the person in Ontario, their comment just about, I guess, dropping things like the mandates.
You know, you can go to Costco, you can go to Walmart, you can go shopping. You know, you don't know if the person has a shot beside you or not, but we also know that it doesn't matter if you have 1 shot or 10 shots, you can catch COVID. See, the Prime Minister has triple shots, and I know hundreds of people with 3 shots that caught COVID. We just have to be careful. We've got to always make sure we wash our hands and move forward. But, Colin, we can't stay in this position forever. We got to learn to live with this and get on with our lives. I bet if I asked every single person in this room, do you want these damn masks or do you want them off? They want them off. They want to get back to normal. They want to be able to go for dinner with their families. And there's every single person, including myself, knows people that are unvaccinated. You know, sure, there's the rebel rousers, And then there's just hardworking people that just don't believe in it. And that's their choice. This is about, again, a democracy and freedoms and liberties. And I hate as a government telling anyone what to do. We just got to get moving forward and get out of this and protect the jobs. You know, I think a lot of people call them, probably yourself too, everyone's done with us. Like, we are done with it. Let's start moving on and cautiously. And, you know, we've followed the rules, all of us, like 90% of us, for over 2 years. The world's done with it. So let's just move forward.
So it would seem from that reply, basically the mass majority of people have just had enough, so to speak. Like, it's time to move on. But what does that mean here? Like in BC, interestingly enough, it says here, BC lifts most COVID-19 restrictions as long as mask and vaccine cards are used. So by the looks of it, they're going to reopen a bunch of places. For example, it says indoor personal gatherings return to normal, indoor and outdoor organized gatherings full capacity, dancing allowed, but with mask and a BC vaccine card. This actually makes me wonder here, everyone has the exact same science and data to go with, yet for some odd reason, everyone's doing it in a different way in terms of how to handle it. Because some of this stuff actually doesn't make sense to me personally, just thinking of it logically. Like, for example, it says fitness centers, adult, sports, dance, swimming, full capacity, no tournament restrictions. So sounds great, but then it says with bracket, with mask and BC vaccine card. Like, I'm thinking there, swimming with a full mask on. How does that make sense logically or scientifically? To me, it doesn't. Alright, see you guys later.